Joe Concho's here with us, media and politics columnist for The Hill and Fox News contributor. Great to have you here, Joe. You know, it's interesting how the wheels do start turning once somebody lands in the town, and it makes others look like they have been delayed. This morning, Pete Buttigieg, who now says that Secretary of Transportation now says that, he's going to be there on Thursday, actually. Watch this. You know, people have those awkward exchanges sometimes when somebody's chasing them. But these are very valid questions that he was being asked. He said he was taking some personal time. What do you make of all this, Joe?
He takes a lot of personal time, Pete Buttigieg.
Biden would be saying, look, I gave you this job for a reason. You need to get down there right away. Let me know when it's a good time for me to clearly political perspective. If he wants higher office, this is providing an opportunity for him to lead.
Show you care.
To lead. And he doesn't seem interested in it. I just want to dip in here for a moment because we're watching a lot of 2024 potential folks here. This is Tim Scott. He's in Iowa, in places like Iowa and New Hampshire these days in February of 2023. We're about to speak with someone whose name comes up a lot in these conversations as we look forward to the 2024 race. Former Vice President Mike Pence, as the Biden White House blames former Trump administration officials for the crisis that's unfolding in East Palestine. We'll talk to him next.
I'm thinking, I'm an American historian by training. This is how this country started with what we call the Great Awakenings. Back in the 1730s, 1740s, 1750s, we had great preachers like Jonathan Edwards and George Whitefield, who people by the tens of thousands would come out simply to praise God, ask His help, join together in a moment of faith. This is how America kind of came to one nation under God. So maybe this is going to spark some type of religious revival in the country that everybody kind of admits we need.
Yeah, I'm always struck when I go to universities. All the universities across the country were built basically as theological
as religious theological.
And the great universities all have these beautiful chapels in the middle of them. And I'm disappointed when I visit some of these campuses where they've been turned into auditoriums. In some places, they're no longer even churches anymore.
I agree with you.
And religion, and most Catholic institutions still have it, and Christian universities still have it, but most of the others do not.
I'm afraid you're right. And of course, those universities were built where they were predicated on the belief that there's an alliance between faith and reason, all right? That God's greatest gift to us spiritually is faith, His greatest gift to us naturally is reason, and the universities are where they both come together in enabling. Our founding fathers knew this, that without some religion, they didn't quite care which one, without some faith in religion, democracy was always going to be in peril. And so this could be a great sign that we're getting back to that original
Do you think it's possible that we might see an awakening? Because all we see are dismal numbers, that the number of people who are believers in the country drops, that churches are closing, church schools close. It's heartbreaking. Do you see other signs that people might see to the end of that?
Obviously, the whole stadium and his teammates drop to their knees in prayer. It's very natural in the human person. I'm afraid we live in a culture that wants to kind of dismiss that, denigrate that, push that to the side. It's natural, it's spontaneous in the human person, and we got to rediscover that, or we're going to let our problems overwhelm us.
We're both wearing ashes, and everybody always, I always have some people ask, what does that mean? The meaning of this and the beginning of Lent.
Martha, you're a marked woman. I am a marked man. We've marked ourselves saying, I'm a sinner. I stand in need of God's grace and mercy. I'm not giving up on Him. He's not giving up on me. And I'm going to start 40 days of prayer and self-denial and outreach and love to others. And